Welcome back to Poke Nation. Coach Wade, welcome back, my friend.
It's been a while.
I know. And, you have to come.
I guess Jim didn't want me on, right? He's been blocking me from being on.
I would have preferred somebody else. Yes, probably.
But I will tell you this: it must be a special time because obviously you see the new jacket.
I know. We got a new threads,
and it doesn't it flow really well with the green.
It looks perfect.
You're a little ahead of St. Patrick's Day, but we're only a month out. But I like the look, Jim. I do, and I think Poke Nation really respects the fact that you do have more than one jacket. I'm excited for that.
It's borrowed.
It's borrowed. Well, Coach, let's get to it. Obviously, we've had since the Southeastern game. We've kind of refocused and got back on track. Talk about what happened after that game. Why do you think that was maybe a turning point in the season?
Well, I don't know if what happened after the game is suitable for TV, but we were, we weren't playing very well before that game, but we've been winning, and for whatever reason, I couldn't get us refocused like we needed to. We always say you can't accept in winning what you wouldn't accept in losing, and so. But we were accepting some things and winning that if we'd have lost, we just couldn't. And for whatever reason, I couldn't get especially our defensive focus. I couldn't get it where we needed it to be. And leading into Southeastern, we'd had 2 of our 3 worst defensive performances. Yeah, and Southeastern made it 3 out of 4 of our worst defensive performances. And so we really just needed to lock back in. We were so passive in the first half at Southeastern, and just they took any shot they wanted, and they made more than they missed. But we were just passive. Second half, we got a little bit better. But after that, we were able to refocus. We really guarded Commerce well. We guarded well at Nichols. We guarded well against Corpus and those guys in Houston Christian, obviously, the previous weekend. So since then, we've actually had 3 of our 4 better defensive performances. Yeah. So we just needed to refocus and lock back in and get back into the details of what it takes to win, of being physical, and quit being pretty. And I always tell them they don't put rings on smooth fingers. Like, you got to get your hands in the dirt. You got to get dirty. You got to get gritty. You got to get grimy. And if we want to win. We want to win a ring and win big. We got to do that sort of stuff. And I think we've been able to refocus ourselves since Southeastern. Now we've got to maintain that and continue that as we finish down the home stretch here.
So this is my second question. So going into the home stretch, we have a couple home games left, couple road games left. What's your message to the team leading into the conference tournament?
Well, I think I talked to them about, you go to the movies, you don't go for the beginning or the middle, you go for the end. Right. So people remember how you finish. People remember how it ends. And so we've obviously, the movie's gone pretty well till this point. But we've got to finish it off. We've got to finish it. We've been working all this time to position ourselves for where we are now. And now you got to close. Yep. And now we got to be Mariano Rivera. We got to come in. A little baseball.
Very good.
We got to come in, and we got to come in. We got to come in and close it down here in the 9th inning. We got 5 games left. Yep. We need to win, 3 of the 5. We want to win 5 of the 5, but we need to win 3 of the 5 to win the thing and lock up the 1 seed. So we've got to finish. And that's really what we've been focusing on. And we got to adjust a couple things. We need to be better on the offensive glass. There's a couple things that I think we can do better basketball wise that I want to lock in on as we get into the home stretch here and then get into the conference tournament.
Well, a lot of things you talked about, you were saying before the loss at Southeastern, loudly, and people weren't taking you seriously because it was coach speak. Yeah. Do you think they started to believe you after that when they lost the game, or was it just a matter of they could now kind of tell themselves with their own eyes what was happening?
No, they knew I was – look, they knew I was right before. It's just hard to bring yourself to do that when you're winning. It's just hard. And you got to remember, I asked our guys to raise their hands the other day. I don't have a player in the room that's ever won a conference regular season title. I have one player that's ever been to the NCAA tournament in the room. So we've got guys. It takes adjustment. We've got guys that came from, they put up some good numbers in some of these programs, but they didn't necessarily win a ton. And so, if you're not used to winning, if it's something that's new, it takes some adjusting to. And sometimes, I look like, just a nut job up there when we're winning, and I'm losing my mind on stuff, and they look at me like I've got 3 eyes and 2 foreheads, and what's going on? But I think after a loss, they knew what I was saying was right. It was just a matter of could we correct it, and we just couldn't correct it until we lost because we just didn't have the urgency and the hunger to correct it like we needed to.
The game against Nichols the other night, Saturday afternoon, your best defensive game, I thought, at least in the conference.
Yeah.
What did you do differently? Because it seems like I've watched it in practice. I see what you're trying to do. It seemed like they reacted much better on the long baseline passes. They were always in somebody's face. It seemed like they were just more aggressive.
Yeah, we were much improved. I thought, we didn't put Cullum on an island like we do sometimes, which helped us. That helped with our rotations being quicker, people being off to the ball. We were just more locked in. We were able to. The whole thing is we were able to win our one-on-one matchups on the ball. If you can't win your one-on-one, it's like a defensive back in football. If they can win the one-on-one matchup, then it frees other people to go do other things. Yeah. And we were able to win one-on-one matchups on the ball. Anytime you can win one-on-one matchups on the ball, your defense is going to be pretty good.
And you closed out on shooters, which is, I know your big concern is letting the free shots go.
We did. We left 21 open one time. We had a couple mistakes, but for the most part,
one
we did.
time it's going to happen.
Well, we did it with 2 as well. We squatted on 2 with somebody too. So
nothing's perfect. Nothing's perfect, huh?
Not in my world.
When we come back to Will Wade's world, we're going to figure out what's going on after they come back with 5 games to go, 3 at home on Polk Nation.
Whether it's an injury case, a property case, or a business dispute, our lawyers are at the top of their game. Ask anyone who knows us. At Veron Weiss, we don't enter popularity contests. The only ratings we care about are the verdicts we've obtained for our clients. Ask anyone who knows us.
Serving the community of Southwest Louisiana since 1954 and a loyal supporter of McNeese State University for over 30 years, Southwest Beverage has provided scholarships to students, supported athletic programs, and sponsored the Banner Series since its inception. We pride ourselves on being the premier beverage supplier in Southwest Louisiana, offering an extensive portfolio of beer, spirits, and non-alcoholic beverages. We're Southwest Beverage, and we want to say thank you for your support.
Ever since I was young, I've known what I wanted to do. Sure, I had some guidance along the way. Thanks, Mom and Dad. But eventually, I had all I wanted. Family, career. It went by fast. Now I'm here. Retirement. And thanks to sound financial planning, it will be all I hoped for. And our children will have a secure legacy. For me, retirement is the next great chapter in my life.
Ferdinandson Financial Group. Let us help you make a plan.
If you're frustrated with your bank and feel like this when you leave, make the move to Lakeside Bank. Voted best bank in the People's Choice of Southwest Louisiana. At Lakeside, the sun is shining, we have the best personal banking, and our customers are always smiling. Find your way to a brighter financial future. Bank happy. Bank Lakeside.
We're back to Polk Nation. Will Wade is here. Okay, everybody asks me this question, so I want your honest opinion. If you win out but lose the title game in the conference, I don't think about, can you get in because this is a strange year. There's a lot of things going on.
I would say there's a very, very slight chance.
Okay.
I'd say under 3%. We would have to. It's not all in a vacuum. So, we'd have to move our net up probably another 15 spots from where we are now. I think we sit about 52 right now. You got to be in the top. You got to be in the top 40, but really need to be somewhere between 35 to 37 if you really want to have a shot. So we'd have to move up 15 spots. Our defensive efficiency finally moved into the top 100. Our offensive efficiency is in the top 50. I mean, part of it would be some of these teams down the stretch. Like we'd have to win big, to move big spots, like to move 6 or 7 spots. Like we won by 27 at Nichols. We moved up 7 spots. We moved up, I think, another 10 spots when we won by whatever we won by at Houston Christian. So is it impossible? No. Is it within striking distance? I guess you could say yes. But it's going to be very, very challenging. But we would have to really, really win big on basically all five of these games. We'd have to win by at least 10 plus, and probably 4 of the 5 we'd have to win by 20 plus to give ourselves a chance to move our efficiency numbers where they need to be, to move the net where it needs to be. So it would be a challenge.
Not impossible, but hard.
It'd be very challenging. I mean, look, the loss at Southeastern's a quad 4 loss. We have a quad 1 win at VCU, you know, I mean, I think we're 13-1, 14-1 against quad 4. That's just a ton of quad 4. It's very, very difficult.
Yeah, and I guess the next question is, though, you haven't, even at Houston Christian, you haven't run it up, though. You're playing everybody 10 minutes at the end of games. You're playing your bench 9-10 minutes at times. You don't want to run it up.
We're not. I mean, we're not trying to. I mean, you know, Berze
can shoot threes.
I mean, Berze is a good player, and Fields obviously makes some things happen when he gets in there.
He's an interesting guy to watch.
And you know, we put Cam Jones in and Tijon and those guys. I mean, you know, they're good players too. They would play if we weren't. You know, they would play quite a bit if our team wasn't as good as it is. And so, you know, we have those guys in there at the end, and they certainly, you know, I think the bigger point to that is that they're competing and still playing the way we want to play. Mm-hmm. It's not like they're out there goofing around. They know we're not out there goofing around. They know we've got certain standards. Like the guys on the bench were getting worried because they turned it over a couple times at the end of the Nichols game, and they're making sure we didn't get to our turnover number, because we'd have been running when we get back to practice if they'd have gone over our turnover number. So they understand that we've got to play a certain way, and we've got to play to a certain standard even when they're in there late in the game.
Coach, I want to get to something I think that Poke Nation would find really interesting. So you have a formula of 4 or 5 statistics each game. If you get 3 of those 4, that's this percentage to win. If it's 4 or 4, you know, talk a little bit about that and what they are.
So it's 3. We have 5 of them. So if it's 3 out of the 5, you're guaranteed to win. Mm-hmm. 2 out of the 5, you've basically got a 60% chance of winning. 1 out of the 5, it's under 50. So that's what we grade ourselves on.
So what are
every
those
game.
5?
Well, we want 30 plus deflections. Mm-hmm. We want 12 or less turnovers. We want 5 turkeys. So turkeys are 3 stops in a row. If you get that one alone, that gives you about a 40% chance to win. We want to win the rebounding battle. And then the 5th one is a game goal based specifically on that team. Mm-hmm. So like Nichols, we wanted to win the 50-50 balls by 5 plus. So we felt like we needed to win toughness plays. A lot of times it has to do with making more free throws than the opponent attempts. You know, sometimes if we play a lethal transition team, holding them to 10 or less in transition offense, whatever it may be. But the last one is game specific. But if you get 3 out of the 5, you're going to win. But the reality is, if you get the turkeys and the turnovers, the other 3 are pretty much negated by that. If you can not turn it over, and you get those amount of stops, like you're pretty much going to win. So
other thing I have for you, what do you think the ceiling? Where can this team continue to improve?
Well, I think our defensive rebounding is getting better, but we can continue to get better there. Our offensive rebounding's been spotty. We need to be a better offensive rebounding team. I got to do a better job. We got to put some new stuff in this week to get Hade back going. Teams are kind of loading to him. We got to do a better job of masking some things with Cooper and with Shoemate. Yep. Some teams have figured some stuff out there, and when we got the 2 non-shooters out there, and although Shoemate's been shooting it better, you know, there's some things that we need to adjust, and we're going to do that. I've spent the last couple of days working on that and talking to other coaches, and I got 8 minutes of film on my computer on exactly how I want to do it. Yep. So we've got to get some of that stuff straightened out, but really, you know, we've got to get our press offense has got to get better. We are shaky against the press, in my opinion. I know we get it over and we don't turn it over a lot, but it looks shaky to me. Yeah. So I want to get our press offense better, our offensive rebounding better, and improve our defensive rebounding. Get a few more sets in. Yeah.
Do you? Last question before we get out of here. Do you look at bracketologies in that right now?
No.
When will you? On
if
Selection
we win,
Sunday?
if we win the league, I'll start looking at kind of where we're at, but. I mean, I know where our metrics are. I would assume we're anywhere between a 12 and a 13 seed in most of them. Like where our metrics are and where our numbers are, I know that. Our Kim Palm, our nets, our efficiency ratings. I know all that sort of stuff. So I would assume we're probably mid 12 or the highest 13 if I were guessing, if I looked at them.
So the fans are way ahead of you on that.
They're ahead of me. Our fans are great. How about the crowd we had at
gonna ask
Nichols?
that.
It's awesome.
Incredible. I know we got a bunch of people coming to Lamar on
I'll
Monday
even
night.
go to Lamar.
How about that? Oh my gosh, the world's gonna end. But it was the crowd at Nichols was phenomenal. The crowd at Houston Christian was phenomenal. We're very appreciative of our fans and everybody traveling. It makes a big difference on the road.
When we come back with Coach's final thoughts after this on Polk Nation.
At Veron Bice, we don't enter popularity contests. The only ratings we care about are the verdicts we've obtained for our clients. Ask anyone who knows us.
Ever since I was young, I've known what I wanted to do. Sure, I had some guidance along the way. Thanks, Mom and Dad. But eventually, I had all I wanted. Family, career. It went by fast. Now I'm here. Retirement. And thanks to sound financial planning, it will be all I hoped for. And our children will have a secure legacy. For me, retirement is the next great chapter in my life.
Ferdinandson Financial Group. Let us help you make a plan.
Welcome back to Polk Nation. It's a pleasure to have Commissioner Grant. Welcome back.
Thanks for having me. Look, feel like home here.
I mean, have you been here since, Jim broke out the new older jacket?
I have not. No, this is
looks
amazing.
nice, doesn't it?
Little haircuts lasting. This is looking good.
Yeah.
Man.
I mean, Coach Wade got him a gift card to one of our sponsors, Man Cave, which is, in my opinion, the best haircut around. So, I mean, he's like a new man, huh?
You take me with you sometime?
I have not done the haircut yet because that's 10 months worth of haircuts at my barber's college. But I said I would do it. If I go to Gatsby, I will do it the night before Gatsby.
Okay, we have an if this year.
No, he's going.
Okay, you're in.
He's going, for sure.
Yeah.
Look, I just want to say this. The hardest thing last night was seeing Schwer on the ladder. A little worried about that. A little worried. Hope the insurance is paid off.
Unreal. Commissioner, let's get to it here. So obviously, it's a huge, busy time, and it's a huge week, starting next week.
Yep.
March Madness starts. It all gets going here in the Legacy Center. Talk about your staff and what you guys have been doing different, really, leading up to this year than you did in last year.
No, I mean, the biggest difference is, first of all, is the road to Lake Charles. Like, our league has embraced this opportunity to be here in the Legacy Center. So the best venue and going on record in the Southland that we have, and our membership saw that. And that's why we're returning, and that's why we've committed long term, as we discussed before. But then to put more work on us as a staff, basically going in, what's our marketing efforts, right? We were challenged by someone in the brown coat to my right last year publicly about getting out in the community more. And that's something you and I talked about, have been dedicated
Absolutely.
to. Of course, I'm trying to put the conference back together, and now we've done that and created that stability, and he's doing even more. Now it's time to really spend time here, and it's really been great for me, not only myself, the staff coming here, doing multiple site visits, visiting with our partners, and a lot of your partners too.
Absolutely.
At the same time, to ensure that not only are we giving the McNeese and the Lake Charles community, but the Southland community and our fans, student athletes, the parents, the experience that they deserve, and then elevating it, right? What else can we do to add more to it? And you all, I mean, it's tough because you all have a hell of a product here, not only on the court, but everything going around the games now too. And so we're just looking forward to getting here. Ticket sales went on sale for the first time for a pre-sale, the first time in conference history. And so now I have a digital platform. It is a cashless operation, so don't be afraid of that coming in. I think it's something you all had in place already.
We did.
And so, but looking forward to not only seeing the growth in that and the ticket sales and what it have, but you're creating a competition now. A lot of eyes were on Lake Charles last night. A lot of eyes have been on McNeese all year, nationally and locally. And our membership, I hope that resonates and they get fans out. We've offered opportunity to bring fan buses, student buses, and I see some of our members doing that and planning the court accordingly.
What has the revival of Will Wade and McNeese done for the conference?
You know, it's something Heath and I talked about, 3 years ago when I first came into the league, the importance of not only bringing a tournament to back on campus and making it matter, right? We were in Katy. It was a decent venue, but it wasn't this, right? Yeah. And it wasn't in the middle of our footprint and didn't provide that excitement. And so, and I give him all the credit in the world. The vision he had of really making basketball a priority in the Southland. You don't give him too much credit? But it was him. In my first athletic director meeting, he sure said, basketball has to be a priority for this league in order for us to move forward. If we could continue not investing in basketball, we won't be a league anymore. And we almost saw that. And I hate to go back on down times, but that's where we were. And so, and that was his vision from the start. I will build a championship program. So I'm not surprised because I know once he puts his mind to something, he's going to go through it wholeheartedly. But to have Will Wade, to have those student athletes, the way they perform, it's only elevated the league. I mean, now we're at 10 weeks in a row on SportsCenter Top 10.
Yeah.
And 2 dedicated segments to McNeese on SportsCenter. I mean, that's unheard of. And you can't pay for that exposure, especially at a mid-major like us. And so now we've been talked around in the likes of Missouri Valley Conference, the A-10, because of what has happened here on the court here in Lake Charles.
So, Commissioner, let me ask you this. So, how has ticket sales been going? And there are obviously people watching this that haven't got their tickets yet. Mm-hmm. How do they do that?
Yeah, so Southland.org, you see the tickets right on our landing page. You don't even have to go far. Just go to Southland.org. You go to our website, and the tickets are there. And it's an easy-to-play platform. Of course, I know you all are looking. We're here in Lake Charles. You're looking at those Tuesday and Wednesdays games now that that's secure. But we have games Sunday and Monday as well that'll be very competitive and get a chance to come out and scout your future opponent and what that happens. So we're looking forward to it. We'll be out actually starting on Saturday with a kids dribble right here in the Legacy Center parking lot. A lot of free activations, giving away basketballs, T-shirts to the local youth, of different sponsors, food trucks out, all free. Don't bring your checkbooks, don't bring your cash, all free here. So looking forward to getting off to a good start. We have one more game to go on the men's and women's side. Before we get there, I'm gonna do a little tour to Southland, and I look forward to coming back.
That's great. So, and we got a little less than a minute in this segment, but like the kids dribble, and you talked about elevating the experience. Yeah. Outside of that, what other things can the fans expect when they come in that they maybe didn't see last year?
All right, that's the exciting part. So we'll have our MCs back. We'll do 2 MCs this year, as you've seen some things around the Southland. Yep. But more importantly, halftime entertainment. So we'll have Red Panda coming in. I think that's Tuesday night. We'll also have Flight of Dogs coming in, and then another act that I forget what that one is, but you got to come see it. That's the great part. At championship, national anthem singers, a lot of a tailgate happening out in front for the first time ever during our tournament, and so look a lot more fan engagement opportunities that you hadn't seen historically with the Southland, and we want you out here. And if you don't have it, call me, email me. We'll get you taken care of. But we look forward to having one out here in the Legacy here next week.
Can't wait to see Flight of Dogs. Yeah. When we come back, we're going to get into a few other things with the commissioner, including expansion and everything else from Polk Nation.
From the campus of McNeese, you're watching CBS Lake Charles. Never going to happen.
We're back with Commissioner Chris Grant of the Southland Conference, the new look Southland Conference. Okay, I'm going to ask you a question right off the bat. Okay. Ryan Ivey's gone from the SFA.
Wow, he's going at it. Congratulations, Ryan Ivey, if you're watching.
Well, he's a former McNeese guy.
Yes, he is.
Have you thought about asking them back? Have there been talks?
Well, first, they're a great member of the WAC right now, but they also have no president in place, no athletic director in place. And look, as we're always willing to have conversations, and where we're at. And I think the reasons for those institutions that left at that time and leaving, the course have been right, in the sense of where the Southland was going and where we're headed now. And a lot more phone calls, not only coming from old members, but new members, from around in our footprint. And that has been the focus of our board. When we were looking outside of Illinois and Georgia, yes, great opportunities to add numbers, but when it comes to what the Southland is, we're the only conference, all in one time zone, Central Time Zone. We can get on a bus any given moment and get to any destination within the footprint. And our board wanted to maintain that. Our athletic directors were adamant about it too. And so you're going to see, us continue to probably mention publicly and have more conversations. And so never say never.
And how many more phone calls and texts are you getting after this year when you're on ESPN?
Right, a ton. And it's when we're on ESPN for the right reasons, I should say.
Yeah,
right.
You have it one time for the other.
All right. And so, but it's exactly what Heath, the other athletic directors, and our presidents really stay steadfast. And once we said, hey, if we can stay together, so we can build our stability, and then be invested into the student athlete experience and provide that investment into our programs, then they would come, right? And so far, we've had a lot of success in that, and just at least the phone calls coming.
So Commissioner, let's talk about this. So, in expansion, the biggest thing with expansion to me, and we've talked about it, is football, right?
Yes.
Like trying to get the football schedules.
Right.
Like, talk to the fans and the Pope Nation why that's important.
It's so important. I mean, that's one less charter flight that you have to take now. Right. That's $150,000 that you have to reinvest in the student athlete experience on the other seven campuses we have in the Southland.
That's right.
And so, but not only that, now you got an opportunity to build a regional footprint and more rivalries that are associated with it. Add another football member now, it protects us and what we're trying to do in FCS, and really building back. I mean, we were a powerhouse in FCS football, and we've kind of lost our way a little bit. This year, Nichols represented us. We didn't have the showing we wanted in the postseason. UIW the year before, they did have the showing, and so, but we should consistently be putting 2 teams into that, and if we can have more than the 7 opponents that you all have now, then we can build that, and then basically strengthen our schedules by 1 or 2 non-conference opportunities outside of that guarantee game.
And also the fact that you got to look at, you might be losing the power conference schools. You got to make up that revenue. The best way to make up that revenue would be a local rival, wouldn't it?
100%. Yeah, the local rival is so important, and you all have done a great job of it, and our other athletic directors are taking note and also doing it themselves. Make sure we're prioritizing that. And I mean, we're starting to see games scheduled out to 2029 and 30. Those used to be guaranteed games. Now they're FCS, and it's really, you see the Missouri Valley Football Conference coming into our footprint. You see the Big Sky now wanting to play games in the CAA, and so we want to continue to build it. They know we're a formidable opponent, and so I don't like that they think they can win. Right, I want them to still being hesitant, but I'll take the games, surprise them when they get here.
So, Commissioner, let's talk about the scheduling in basketball. Like, we shifted from Saturday to Monday and got off of Thursday.
Yes.
People ask me all the time. I talk about, obviously, the official part of it, less games.
Right.
You talked about ESPN. How do you think that's? Let's go back. Why did we do that? From and then. How do you think it's been?
Right. We had 2 fixes. One, officiating, right? We wanted access to the better officials, and we couldn't get a full crew. At least provide us 1 crew chief. That would be better. And so now we're getting those NCAA tournament, Power 5 tournament officials, at least 1 on every Monday game and seeing. Now, the fans may not agree. They might think they're so bad, but at least I got to tell you, it has improved in that capacity. The second was exposure, right? We were basically playing on Thursday and Saturday. We were falling behind, and everyone else, you go to the ticker, you're going through 200 other scores before you get to ours. Now, on that Monday night, we're priority. I mean, you saw it again last night. Houston Christian gets a alley-oop play on the SportsCenter top 10. And so every week now, SportsCenter is looking for us because we not only define phenomenal student athlete play and the coaches putting them in position, but because we prioritize Mondays, they've now prioritized the Southland and being on there. And so, our coaches have to figure out the student athlete experience piece. It takes maybe a little bit more time from their families, but ultimately, it's what we here to love to do: provide the best platform for our student athletes, our fans, and then not only the university. And I like to say, from presidents I've talked to, they see some of their websites after being on the SportsCenter top 10, especially here, they see more uptick in those admission websites.
What about the women moving to a Monday night? Is that a possibility?
That is a possibility. The women that initially they weren't all for it. I've heard from some women's coaches now that they're seeing what's happening around the league on the men's side, and that they also want that same exposure. So I think we can be creative in mixing some of those in. I think some still like the Thursday, Saturday format, and so we also want to make it equal on the way. And I want to talk to the student athletes too and see how their road trips have been. It's all things not being equal. Academics, they still have to come back and go to class, and that's a priority for us. And so I just want to take a full assessment of it, and then we're dedicated to it 1 more year as to really get a full taste of what it really can bring, and then from there really kind of schedule out, because our our new TV deal with ESPN starts in 2025.
All right, so I give you a hard time sometimes. I think you know that. I wanted to give you a public congratulations on how you handled the suspensions.
Well, thank you. That's wow. I would take that.
You were quick.
That's on record.
You were quick and you were aggressive, and that's what I wanted to see.
Yes.
And that hopefully will stop some of the nonsense.
That's agreed.
But I just wanted to put that out to you. I occasionally give him credit.
Yeah, occasionally. I watch.
Yeah.
Occasionally, yes.
I try not to.
For
but
sure.
I wanted to do that because I came out the day after and said, this is an opportunity for you to set the
Yes.
standard, and you did, and I congratulate you for that. And also, we'll see you next week.
Yeah, looking forward to next week. You got your seat?
Well, I hope so. I've been told I do, but it keeps getting further and further away when he gets mad at me.
All I can ask, Polk Nation, is that you tell somebody about the tournament. I promise you it will be an elevated experience. The phenomenal basketball, I don't have to speak to that. You all seen it all year. But just looking forward to packing out the Legacy Center. And as our friend Matt Barnett said last night, blow the roof off.
Thank you for leaving the last word out.